Hello everybody, here's the result for week 1 of the 2018 SpaceChem Tournament. The assignment for the first week was this, electroplating. As we can see, we have a copper block, a 2x2 block of copper, a lone silver atom in the bottom left of the reactor, and 8 bonders. Our aim is to build a plated nanoparticle that is pretty much a copper block surrounded by silver. Now, what's unique about this level is the way you are forced to approach it. Because every time you have to use many atoms of one kind, like here silver, and just one atom of another kind, what's usually done is that you pick up one of those, bring them over, and then maneuver them around the own atom, bonding it, rotating, and then just bring it over to the output. In this case, this approach isn't really possible because, well, you can't maneuver the bulky copper block around the silver atoms here. I mean, you can put a bonder here, a bonder here, a bonder here, but then these are just 2 points and you have like 12 to cover. So what you're forced to do is to bring the silver to the copper. And I hope to see many creative ways of creating strands of silver to bring them over in the smallest amount of time over to the copper, and we've seen a lot of creative solutions. Before we start, I would like to thank everybody who participated. I have received solutions from 35 people, and this is one of the most crowded tournaments since 2014. We'll start with Xaboka, who submitted this. As we can see, he has a block of 5 bonders on input alpha to bond to the copper block, a block of 2 bonders on input beta to pull up the silver wire, and then a lone bonder that he is not using. Well, this solution looks pretty basic. It simply builds strands long free of silvers, brings them up, bonds them, and then repeats. But, well, I have to say this looks pretty great for someone who was told he could submit like 4 hours before the deadline. So yeah, with the time you had, great job, Xaboka. Let's speed it up a bit. And as we can see, here it is. It's a pity that we have so many weights and so long blue line, but hey. And he scored 792 cycles. Next up, Flexo. This is kind of a unique solution. As we can see, he uses just 6 bonders and he has all of them in input beta. So he is doing the sort of maneuvering I just said couldn't be really done. So let's see how he does it. He starts placing the silver atoms in some peculiar way, and then he bonds 3 at a time on the corner. Well, that's certainly not a solution I had anticipated, but yeah, looks pretty cool. Sadly, it's pretty slow. That's because red has to manipulate each atom singularly and they're not pulled in strands, so it will take a while. Let's get it completion. And it terminates in 697 cycles. This is the next solution by Axton or JPark 1101. He uses 6 bonders as well, and he has them scattered throughout input beta again, and the middle of the reactor. Let's see what it does. He picks up the copper block, pulls out a 3 strand of silver, bonds it, rotates, and repeats. Well, this is similar to the solution we have seen earlier, but it has a much smaller path. That's because it's rotating the other direction, and so it can conclude much faster. Then we have blue and offing to red for the delivery, and the cycle restarts. This is, well, not pretty fast, but it's really simple to understand, which is, well, a nice quality solution, even if it's not what the tournament's looking at. It finishes in 626 cycles. Next up, JFB 1337. Let's see what it does. He pulls up a 3 strand of silver, bonds it. Red does kind of a long thing here and forces blue to wait. here, this way. Then blue pulls 3 strands of silver and it bonds it. Do it again, and then red picks up, delivers, and outputs. Blue has just helped red come in a bit sooner by bringing over the input. Let's see it in detail next time it happens. Here it is. This shortens a bit red paths and make the solution a little bit faster. Let's run to completion. Comes up in slightly over 600 cycles. Here's Darkit solution. Darkit has just 2 bonders in input beta and the rest forms a nice bonding block in input out. Let's see what it does. It inputs 3 strands of silver, bonds them, and then blue comes back and picks them up again, and red just manages the copper block and does the rebonding and rotating. This is a pretty efficient 3-strand solution because the loops are reasonably tight for this kind of solution. Certainly, bringing over 3 strands of silver isn't very fast, so we'll say that the top tier solution uses a completely different strategy. Still, nice work. Run to completion, terminates in 566 cycles. Then we have Astro Nelson. He has a very scattered bond setup. Let's see what he does. He pulls up 3 strands of silver, who would have guessed, and then red again manages the rotation and the copper block, and blue just brings over the strand. This has a very compact blue loop, which allows it to be one of the fastest solutions sent for 3 strands. Let's see. Here it goes, 563, slightly faster than the previous one. Here we have Jonathan's solution. He starts by doing something a little bit differently from all the other solutions we have seen till now. He built this silver hull, rotates it, and places it over where the copper block will be. Then blue built this great other silver hull, rotates it the right way, and then the copper block is bonded right in the center of the silver hulls. This is bonded all over. Blue takes all its sweet time to do it, and then output. Great looking solution. It's a pity building all this hull is a bit slow. That's because this has to be rotated twice, and then all the bonding takes a lot of time because it has to be done in this single pair. But still, this is a great solution, and we start seeing what this assignment is all about. Closes in 531. Here is RP0's solution. We see he has 3 bonders in input beta, and we see this will be a very common setup later. So he starts by extruding a 6 long silver chain, which he passes to red. Then blue extrudes another 6 long silver chain, moves it up, and everything is rebonded. We'll see we have 5 bonders to do the rebonding, and both Waldo participate, so even the delivery is reasonably fast. And then blue is back, building another chain, and the process repeats. This is a common way to complete this assignment by making 2 6 long strands of silver, and I refer to this solution as the 6+6 solution. Let's see. Closes in 449, much faster. Here we have Cursed Flame solution. Let's see what he does. He pulls up a 4 long silver strand, then brings over the copper block, bonds it with 2 silvers over and under, and then brings up another 4 long strand of silver. This is a very unique solution. He was the only one to submit something like this, and honestly it's really nice to watch. We'll see. And here we are. Wow, a great bonding over 4 bonders and outputting. Sadly, because he needs to pull silver so many different times, his solution isn't the fastest. But still really cool to watch. Great work. And closes in 401. Next up, Jeff. Let's see what he does. He pulls up a 6 long strands of silver, bonds it with red, and he has this separated group of bonders. Now picks up another with blue, bonds it again, and delivers. The delivery is pretty efficient. As we can see, he just needs to on-swift bond it, he bonds, bond, rotate ons, and delivers. All in all, a nice solution. It closes in 391. Next up, MacRush. We can see he uses pretty much the same strategy we have seen Jet use, but the holder alternates bonding and pulling a strand of silver. So overall, this solution is a little bit faster. Still uses 6+6 and closes in 386. Now it's Twistia's time. Let's see what it does. Blue picks up a 6 long silver chain. Red immediately picks up another 6 long silver chain. They both finish around the copper block, and then everything is rebonded. This is really fast in the extraction part. As we can see, blue starts pulling the silver strand and red soon after comes out. Where time is lost is pretty much here, where bonding takes a fair amount of time, involving both walls, and well, even the delivery takes a bit. So this isn't as fast as the incredibly fast silver pulling would suggest. All in all, still scores a great 379. Now we have Guan, and we'll see he does something really nice. He starts by extracting this huge silver chain that contains all the silver he used, and then it splits it in the middle. This way, in a single extraction, he has all the silver he'll ever need, and then goes up, bonds up the copper block, and bonds with the other half. As great looking as this solution is, sadly the delivery takes a lot of time, especially because blue is now on the other side of the reactor and takes a fair bit of time to come in and bond to the rest. Still, great looking solution. Let's see how much it goes. It clocks at 379 cycles. Now we have Biggie Mac 42. Let's see what he does. He picks up a 7 long strand with blue, a 5 long strand with red, and then bonds it up everything in 2 blocks of bonders. Pretty fast delivery. Sadly, red takes a fair amount of time to come back from delivering, and it takes a bit of time. But this is great for someone that has just started playing, so congratulations, Biggie Mac. Closes in 366. And now, just because you just started playing, I would say that this is bad. Go away. Ah, right. One symbol saved. Then we have iQuick 143. He has this 5 bonder block very close to input beta, such that this new strand barely fits, and it does a pretty great rebonding. This looks really fast in the initial phase, sadly suffers from a long sync delay right here, where red is still going around and coming back while blue will just be arrived. So this is not as fast as at the beginning would suggest, but still a great looking solution. Here it is at 354. Now my symbol cleaning rat falls on you as well. This can be brought here, the 2 arrows removed, and here we have same score, 2 less symbols. When we have MP10, as we can see, we still see the 3 bonders here and the 5 bonder blocks in this peculiar shape here. This is a staple of many solutions, so let's see what he does. He pulls up a 7 long strand with blue, then blue goes bonding the copper block, while red goes down, picks up a 5 long strand and finishes rebonding. Rebonds and delivers. This is while blue has already started working on the next product. So red can spend a big amount of time coming back without too much problems, as blue is preoccupied doing the rebonding. Let's see. 358. Now counterpoint. Let's see. he picks up a 6 long strand, has the first bonding block very close to the input, has red completely handle the copper block and bonding and rotating, then bonds, rotate and delivers. Really clean solution with a very simple blue loop. This was one of the lowest symbol solution I received for a 348. Now we have Zlutz with this peculiar bonder shape. Let's see what it does. He picks up the usual 6 long silver strand, red picks up another silver strand, they box in the copper block and then rebond really fast with this shape. It's a pity that, as we will see right here, we have every bond done aside from just 2, and these 2 costs him a very costly rotate. So hey, but it's pretty good looking, and scores a 318. Now we have Rex Kick's solution. As we can see, red pulls up a 7 long strand, picks up the copper block, then red comes over, bonds up the second strand, rebonds everything and outputs. It takes a fair amount of time for red to rebond everything. As we can see here, blue drops and then he has to go all this long path just to synchronize with red that has to spend a lot of time rotating and rebonding. Still, this solution gets down to 308. Now it's Cactus' turn. It starts up by pulling the usual 6 long strand of silver, then red comes up, pulls the second strand, bonds it and outputs. As we can see, the shape of the bonders make bonding really easy. That's why this shape was used by very many people. Deliver for red is a bit long, and so blue has to do all these long loops just to wait for him. Still, scores a nice 301. This was pretty much the point at which the top 10 standed after the end of the first week. We had a lot of people bashed in the 290 to 310 cycles, but by the second week the line moved much further, so Cactus just scored around the 15th place. Next up we have Gigs with a pretty similar layout. He pulls up a 6 long strand of silver, red helps by bringing down the copper block, then he brings out the second strand, bonds and outputs. This is a pretty similar solution to Cactus 1. Drops one earlier, changes things a bit, but even the score is really similar. Next up we have Sci-Shard solution. He builds up a 6 long silver chain, has red rotate the copper block to fit everything in. That was a great maneuver and we'll see it in detail. Then has red do the usual bond and deliver. Now let's see the maneuver. Really great looking. How avoid this collision? And for this he scores 298. As you can see, this zone is very tense, with a lot of scores at 301, 299, and we'll see more scores very close to this score. Now we have Tough Thought. The current title holder has the winner of the 2017 SpaceChem Tournament. Let's see what he got. Blue builds a 6 long silver chain, red does the same, and then it bonds over the input out. It takes a fair amount of time to out due to having to input all this stuff first. It's still a very clean looking solution with a very fast delivery. It scores 296. Next it's Zig's time. Let's see what he does. Blue pulls up a 6 long silver string, red does the same. They already form the boxed shape way before we have the copper block, and then bond and inputs the copper block directly inside the shape while blue keeps holding it. Then he rebonds it everything using this very nice shape here and outputs. This looks really great in the beginning phase, but it suffers a bit in the delivery part, where both blue and red are stranded at delivery time and need to go way back to the start. And this scores 295. Now, Hypertour. We have seen this shape of bonders already, so let's see what he does. He picks up a 6 long silver strand, red picks up another 6 long silver strand, bond them together, and these bonder shapes allow him to do every bond with very few movements, so that blue can already come down and starts working on the next input. Now, Hypertour scored 287.64. We'll see just right now why this is important. Here is Boparen's solution. Well, even before I start, let's just get rid of this. Let's do this. Yeah, well, ugly arrows. No, don't want that. So, let's see what he does. He picks up a 6 long strand, another 6 long strand, bonds them with a copper inside, much like Zig's solution did, bonds really efficiently and outputs really efficiently, and then he goes around. And as I was saying earlier, let's see, he scored 287, same as Hypertour, and did score 58 instead of 59. And this is important because this score is the 10th place, which means that the placement bonus has been awarded for the symbols amount. And even if your solution wasn't optimal as Boparen, it was enough. Next we have Brookie odds. He pulls, you guessed it, a 6 long strand of silver. Then bonds everything over this, at this point, familiar bonder shape, and then returns to base and restarts the process. Again, this is a very efficient bonding station, but the Waldos have to travel a lot of time to go back doing something useful. So we have 285 for the 9th place. Next up, Atomate. He has a different bonding shape with these 3 bonders aligned and 2 bonders disconnected. So let's see what he does. He picks up a huge silver strand, then debonds it here, picks up the rest, and now puts a copper block in the middle and does the same rebonding, much like we have seen Zig or other people do. This is really cool. Brings up most of the silvers in a single go. I like it. And scores 218 for the 8th place. Next we have Lilite. Picks up 6 strand. Red comes in as soon as possible, picking up a 2nd strand. He has a bonding station much closer to input, and as red do a good part of the rebonding. This means that blue, let me just see it better, is free to go back on his time and starts already working on the new input. This parallelism between delivery of the previous output and starting working on the next is something that features in all the top solutions. So this scores 279. For 6th place, Nousher picks up a 7 long silver strand. He then carefully rotates around the 5 strand and outputs really fast. Let's see it again. Here we have a really close call. We have red that rotates away the strand just in time for blue to bring over the big part, and then it slams it over, bonds it, and outputs. And now that we're just finished outputting, red will just start building the new input for 278. Now we have Ser or Serbadrig, whatever. He picks up a very long silver strand all with blue, really good, really cool to see, breaks it in the middle, has red take one off and gobble out the copper block, and then bond the rest while blue goes work on the next strand. I really like this. Look at this huge, here it is. Look at this huge silver strand sitting in a reactor. And he scores 269. Now we have reasons with this peculiar bonder arrangement. Let's see what he does. He uses 7 plus 5 and picks up one with blue, has red do a pretty simple rebonding and then drops. And when we see he has a very long time till he can put. Still, this is very compact and allows him to come back really fast. As we can see, he delivers and then has already started working on the next output. And now we'll see how much he scores. He scores 269.55. If you remember the previous score by Sir, you'll see that it's the same exact score. So these two tied in the middle of the top 10 with the same exact score and widely different solution. Wow, what was the chance? After we have seen the tie for the 4th place, this is Darius one for the 3rd place. Let's see. He puts up the usual 6 long strand blue, has red already start work on the next strand, then blue comes in, leaves to red, which drops and goes back to work to the next. This looks really simple and it's very effective. For a 268, just one cycle better than the pair of guys we have seen earlier. In 2nd place we have Handy with this solution. This is an arrangement we have already seen. He builds a huge strand similar to Sir, but one shorter and one larger. Again, look at this beauty. He puts everything in one go and then breaks it up in a 5 plus 7. Really a unique solution, and has the copper block spawned directly inside the box, rebonds everything and outputs. This is really the cool stuff I hope to see when I give this puzzle in the tournament. Look, beautiful. Great, a single strand picks up, bonds it and outputs. Really nice to see. Congratulations Andy for your 2nd place at 266. And this is the 1st place by none other than GG Gold. This solution is really great, so let's watch it. He pulls up and good 2/3 of the silvers in one go, then bonds the copper block, picks up the rest automatically, and then does something magic. Blue picks up, red drops. Now this will have to go here, and he does it in an extremely fluid way. Red debonds, blue rotates, which brings us 90 degrees closer to the goal. Now everything is moved one bonder over. Red debonds, blue slams the other piece over and completes the box. Now red spends the rest of its time rebonding, while red pulls up the next strand and copper block. I mean, look at this. Great. This is absolutely stunning method and very well deserving of its 1st place. Really, congratulations GG Gold. I mean, let's watch this for a while. Really great to see. And closes as a 252. Congratulations again to GG Gold for the 1st place in this 1st week. Now a couple of bonus solutions. By tinkering a bit with GG Goldstop solution, and Peter come up with this. Waldo swapping, a bit of tweaking around, and pretty much the same algorithm, but one cycle saved. And now I want to show one last solution. Some people submitted, well, for fun, some cycle solutions, and this is the best of them all, by M. Peter. Let's look at what it does. He has blue hammer on the bond plus command, and has red bring over 3 sticks of silver. Bonds them, sets one of the copper bonds strikes, rotates, puts it back, and rebonds. Everything bonds correctly, and then it outputs. This is a nice symbol solution, and this was in fact the best symbol solution I received, that 21 symbol, and it should show you pretty well why I went for a poor cycle symmetric for this puzzle. I mean, while this solution is great and all, this approach is really basic. This is a simple solution, and if the metric would have rewarded optimizing symbol, we would have seen things really close to this, and we would have lost on all the great ways to pull huge strands of silver from the beta input. So I leave it for now, and we'll see you guys next week with the solutions of which